Hi everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. Today we are at Morgan Buick GMC here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we're going to take a look at this satin steel metallic 2022 GMC Yukon Denali. We're going to give you all the details as to what exactly you'll find if this is something you want to buy, or maybe you just want to check out and take a quick tour here on the internet and see exactly what this vehicle is all about. So let's start here on the front end. A very strong look. You know, it's really nice to see a vehicle with a large grille. Kind of hard to really give you an idea of how big that really is. I don't have a tape measure, so I can't measure it, but it's nice and big. The GMC logo prominently displayed and surrounded by LED everywhere you look. LED headlights, LED daytime running lights, LED fog lights, and on the rear of the vehicle, we'll take a quick run back there as we take a quick look at the power folding side view mirrors, turn signal indicator built in right there. I know a lot of you like that feature. You also have LED taillights here on the rear of the vehicle. Now, if you are looking for horsepower, let's open the hood. You talk about power, it's the best option. Maybe you're somebody out there that has a big family, but you also are a hot rodder at heart. You like high performance vehicles. Well, in essence, this is about as close as you're going to get to high performance without modding out your Yukon. All right, guys. Obviously, one of my favorite features here, I'm glad you don't have to go hunting for a rod to manually prop the hood up in place. You have the hydraulic struts right here, and you can display, when you use those hydraulic struts, to open the hood, the 420 horsepower, 6.2 liter V8 found here under the hood. 460 foot-pounds of torque mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. MPG is obviously very important here. What are they? 14 city, 20 highway, 16 combined. And according to GMC, kind of ironic in a way that this 6.2 liter V8 is supposed to use 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles you drive. The tire size comes in at 275/60 wrapped around those 20-inch wheels. And I'll tell you what, the black wheel is really well accented by the red brake calipers right here. The 60 series sidewall is going to contribute to a very comfortable ride. And one thing that is very nice here that I like personally, the red pinstripe you're going to find. Both sides obviously going to run the length of the vehicle. It looks very nice. And then when you come to open the vehicle, you've got passive entry right here. And the good thing is you can unlock and lock all four doors from here on the driver's side door, on the front, either door really, on the front, on the driver or passenger side, or you can also do that on the rear right here. And if that doesn't work, go into your infotainment system. There's a setting you can change right there. Also, the power side steps, I always like that feature. Very nice, very easy to use. Obviously, you don't have to do anything but open the doors and then close them, and everything goes back underneath, as you can see right there. A very strong looking vehicle. And as strong as it looks, well, how strong is it? Let's talk about towing, and then we'll talk about cargo capacity and see how it ranks with its best competitor. Now, one thing, I know I haven't mentioned anything about the Expedition to this point yet, but here's the thing. When we talked about what's under the hood here, the Expedition actually makes more horsepower and puts out more torque than does the 6.2 liter under the hood of this GMC Yukon. However, there is a difference. Let's talk about what that is. So what is the big difference here? Well, even though that Ford Expedition with the 3.5 liter turbocharged 6-cylinder is making 440 horsepower and 510 pounds-feet of torque, it doesn't tow as much. 6,000 pounds to be exact. Here with the Yukon Denali, you're looking at a max of 7,900 pounds. You might as well just say a 2,000 pound difference. That is a pretty significant difference, I would say. And what about cargo capacity? Well, 104.6 cubic feet is what you will find with the Expedition. But when you maximize your cargo capacity here with this Yukon Denali, well, you're going to find that it's 122.9 cubic feet. Actually quite a difference there. So as far as which is better so far, it looks like that 122.9 maximum cargo capacity here in the Yukon is definitely a winning number. And you have additional space here under the floor. And one thing I really like here is that when you raise the floor, you just bring it all the way up and it automatically stays in place. And it's not that hard to bring back into place. You can see I just kind of touched it with my finger there just to show you how easy that is to do. It easily stays in place. You can easily put it back in place. And you have additional space under here and the tools to change a tire if you ever need to. Now, one thing that you need to note here is that while you can put the seats down with the buttons right here, in fact, you can even move those all the way up, as you can see I just did right there by hitting that button a second time. So there's advantages to that, and we'll talk about exactly what that can help later on in the video. But here's what's different between this set of switches right here and this set. Well, you can pretty much tell by the arrows. You have to manually put those in the middle section right there back in place. But you can raise these back up here in the rear with the buttons. There we go on one side, and then I'll do the other side. And one thing to think about here, I let go of the button right there, just so you know. You have to hold that button down until the seat backs are all the way back up in place. Just something to kind of keep you from dealing with frustration, because now you already know how to avoid that frustration. One more little thing I do want to show you right here. Guess what? You've got a household power outlet right there here in the rear. And all right, if you're looking for storage space for passengers, well, there's quite a bit here. The upper and the lower door bins, space right here in the top, a lot more space down here in the bottom. There is quite a bit in there. I can't really necessarily show you how much is there, I'm trying to, but I don't know if you can see how far in my hand goes. But here's something interesting to note. These seats are adjustable forward and back. As you can see, I have the driver's side over there on the left-hand side as far forward as it will go, and over here on the passenger side as far back as it will go. And you adjust all of that with this lever right here. And then to make it easy to gain access to the rear seat area, that's what this is for. And there's a couple of different ways to do this. So let's do this first. I'll demonstrate right here. It's gonna fold down like that, and then we pull up on that one more time. Let's see if I can do that. There we go. You can also do that with this release right here. So let's hop on inside. In fact, on inside here, and notice that I'm gonna put this seat back in place just so that you can see, even though I don't have the seat all the way back, I will change that in just a second and pick back up with you. But you can see how much leg space I have. So depending on who's sitting in the rear and who's sitting in the middle right here, there can be a lot of leg space. Or here is the minimum leg space back here in the rear seat area. Now, for driving around town, a 10, 15-minute drive, I think I could actually do this and be okay. On a long trip, I'd rather have some more space, but the good thing is there's a lot of option for that, a lot of flexibility. And then we can also see that there's some cup holders back here, some space. But what about this button right here? You have this button on both sides. So what I'm going to do, it'll be easier to show you from right here. If for some reason whoever's sitting here is jumped out, and maybe whoever's sitting in the rear seat area doesn't want to go through the pass-through right there, well, all they have to do is hit this button once, and this is what happens. Hit the button a second time, and this is what happens. It's really that simple. And one thing I haven't mentioned yet, yes, there is a panoramic sunroof. We'll hop back in here just to show you a couple more things that are here. You can hear the air running. This is tri-zone climate control, by the way. So you have dual zone in the front, single zone here in the rear. Everything can be controlled right here. You even have heated seats. Now, heated only. Tell GMC down in the comments section if you would like to see them add ventilated seats to the rear. Yeah, that would probably make the price go up. But if you're willing to pay that price, heck, why not? Overall, the interior space, whether it's cargo or passenger space, is plentiful. And there is a lot of storage space throughout, if my mouth will allow me to pronounce storage space. But you have the door bins here, the upper and the lower being a little bit larger here in this area. We'll take a look into the glove box and see that is nice and deep, plenty of space there. And then Obviously, you're going to have power driver and passenger seats. Very nice. The Denali logo located here, stitched into the seat back in the front seats. What do you think about, should that be on all of the seats? I'm always curious to see what all of you have to say about that. Even a little bit more space right here. Now, what could you put right there? Well, you could technically put a phone right there. Maybe if somebody's reading a book and they want to take a break, they can put that right there. Tell me down in the comments what you would put right here, whether you're on the passenger side or the driver's side. Speaking of the driver's side, let's hop over there and see what you will find. And before we hop into the driver's seat, here is what the remote looks like on this 2022 Yukon. Everything you would probably expect to be there, including one of your favorite features, because so many of you talk about it, especially if I don't mention it, remote start. And these are power folding side view mirrors, by the way. Let me show you that in action. I'm going to show you what I'm going to do is I'm going to push this button right here. Let's see if we can get all that in one shot. I think we can. Yeah, we sure can. And they obviously fold in on both sides, on the driver and passenger side. And some of the changes you're going to see here as far as 2022 goes, the location of the headlight switch and the mode switch. This used to be up here, so some changes there. You can see the functionality for the heads-up display that this vehicle has, a power adjustable steering wheel, tilt and telescopically adjustable, and hey, there is a lot of lighting around the vehicle, so quite a bit of capability there, a lot of good features, and even the blinker option. That's right, this Yukon Denali does come with the blinker option if you want to use that. Well, I shouldn't say if you want to use that. You should be using that, period. And here is something that I just think is awesome. Taking a look at the graphics on the instrument cluster and the center screen right there, GMC has really stepped up their game for 2022 with all of the changes here within the interior. And as I give you a look at the steering wheel mounted controls, you might be wondering, well, Tom, tell us exactly what the price of this model in the video today is. $80,825. And that does include the camera mirror. If you don't like that, well, you can go back to the conventional style. But here's the advantage. If you had a vehicle full of passengers, especially somebody in that rear seat area, that was tall enough to block your view, well, this is very useful, and you can make adjustments to that, to the position and to the brightness and all that good stuff. So let's talk about something here that sometimes is a bit controversial, based on what I've seen in my videos and in some of the comments, the push button shifter. What do you think about that? Do you like it? Do you not? What would you like to see? Would you rather see a column shifter? What is your preference, and tell me why? And you can go into reverse here. This is the good thing about this vehicle. We'll go into reverse and show you the different views on the camera. You've got the overhead view. You've got so many different views here. For this price point, you better have a lot of camera views, right? A lot of views all around the vehicle. Well, you do. Now, one thing that I do like, and if you're wondering about, well, do I have to be in reverse to use those cameras? No, you don't. You can go right here into your infotainment screen. Let's see if I can get that to work, and do the exact same thing, as you can see. And obviously, this is one of the great changes for 2022, an increased size. It's really nice. In fact, that's nice and large. So is your digital dash cluster right here, instrument cluster right here. Everything so easy to use, so easy to figure out. If you are saying, you know, I need to buy a new Yukon, but I'm afraid of all that new technology, don't be. GMC has made this very easy to use. And as you can see, obviously being able to tow 7,900 pounds, well, you want to be able to manage all of the different trailers you might tow. So if you have multiple trailers, well, as you can see, you can add those multiple trailers. And then you can have a guest trailer, accessory, or no trailer, whatever the case is. And everything else just pretty simple to figure out here. We'll get back over here. I don't have a phone paired right now, and since this vehicle is sold to a customer, I don't want to go in and mess with all of that. But it's very easy to see what is here. And then obviously, I probably don't have to tell you much more about what's here. Controls for the radio, the volume, changing stations, all that good stuff right there. If you ever get into a place where, say you're right here and you're saying, well, how do I get back home? Well, the easiest way to do that, if you're not sure, you really just have to hit that X right there. But if you're not sure, well, you can hit that button right there, and well, it takes you right back home. And here's your dual zone climate control. I talked about that earlier. One thing you do have that's different here in the front, we have heated and ventilated seats. And here's the thing, you can control all of that right here very easily, very simple. It's nice. And if you want to conceal some of this stuff away right here, some of the functions that are here, what you have as far as storage and wireless charging right here. Let me put my phone right here just so you can see all of that in action. Let's see if it'll come on. Wireless charging right there. I probably should leave my phone there for a little while based on the fact that I have such a low charge. Cup holders right here. You've got connectivity, a couple of different options right there. I tell you what, there isn't much missing here. Now, one thing I like to point out, notice how well my phone fits right there. Somebody else in the vehicle maybe wants to charge their phone. Wouldn't it be nice to have a charger right there? Well, there is an aftermarket version available you can buy and put right there. Not difficult to do at all. And last but not least, let's talk about space within the console. There is a lot down there. You could almost jump in there and take a nap. Well, maybe it's not quite that big, but it's close. One important tip that I want to share with you, if for some reason you cannot get that rear door to open, whether you're using your remote or the hands-free function or whatever you're doing, even pushing this button right here, come up here and check this. This knob right here with the button in the center, what's happening is you can either turn it off, which is where I have it right now. That's when it's not going to open. So make sure it's not set to off. You can also go to 3/4 or full, depending on how far you want it to open. But if you can't get it to open, that is what I always check first. Most likely that's the thing. And then there's a button right here that does something kind of cool. Let me get repositioned here to show you exactly what that is. Now, this is not a standard feature, but if you wanted to increase space, well, you can do it this way. There's a few different reasons why you might want to do that. You can increase space right here. There's a lot of extra storage space there. Or if you just want to be nice to your middle row seat passengers and make it easier for them to reach the drink holders, well, there's how you do it. All right, guys, time to answer the question ultimately. Is this Yukon Denali better than its competitor, the Ford Expedition? Well, based on what we've shown today, even though the Expedition has more horsepower and torque, you still have more towing capabilities here, more cargo capacity. So give me your feedback. Tell me what you think. Got to say a special thanks to my friends here at Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this model for the day, and all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to check out another of the videos that is on the screen right now, and I will see you there.